Hey everyone, welcome to our Tuesday tutorial. This is Susan Campfield with SueStampfield.com. Thanks so much for stopping by. Tonight we're going to do another fun fold. I love fun folds. So much more exciting to craft when you're not just folding a piece of cardstock in half and you're doing something a little different. So this is called a double Z-fold card. And it's pretty easy to do. There are just a couple tips about putting it together. So we're going to walk through that. Let me flip the camera here and we'll go ahead and get started. Just see my ceiling for just a moment here. There we go. And let me clip this in. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so this is the double Z-fold card. So when I open it up, you can see a standard Z-fold would be just this shape, and the double Z is another Z-fold inside. So these are the set of cards we did at my large event that just ended, which was called Stamp-A-Stack. This is one of the sets of cards that the attendees made. And so let's go ahead and walk through it. Let me know if you think we should do the Rich Razzleberry or one of the Poppy Parades. I think I have both these papers ready to go. So you guys vote. Rich Razzleberry, Poppy Parade, which direction shall we go? Got glitter all over here. So I'm going to start with the paper trimmer here, and we're going to do some scoring. And I'll go ahead and start scoring the Poppy one, but still vote because I've got a piece of Rich Razzleberry that's actually already scored and ready to go. So you let me know which one we should make tonight. And I'm kind of wearing Razzleberry. Gosh, maybe we should go that way. Okay, I'm just going to lift up the bar of the trimmer here, and I'm going to take my cardstock. Now this is just your standard half sheet of cardstock, so it is 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to do some scoring. So I'm going to start by going in at 2 1/8, and I'll close this down. Now in the trimmer, the dark gray is the cutting blade, so I'm going to put it at the top so that I don't get mixed up. The light gray is the scoring blade. You can also just take a Sharpie and write that on here if you're nervous that you might forget, or use a label maker if you want it to be a little nicer looking. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to score this. And so I'm going to rub it back and forth a few times. There we go. And then I'm going to slide it over to the 4 1/4 inch mark. So I scored it at 2 1/8, and now I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And that is that's it for that piece. Now I'm going to score a piece of Whisper White, and the dimensions on this, let me look at my cheat sheet here. The white piece is 3.5 inches by 6.5 inches, and we're going to score it at 2 1/4. Still waiting for a vote. Poppy Parade or Rich Razzleberry. Let me know what you think we should do tonight. And then I'm going to slide it over to 4 3/8. So 3/8 would be 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, right? I have to count it out. Is that right? No, that's not right, Susan. Okay, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. There we go. 2/8 is a quarter, isn't it? Yeah, math, not my favorite thing, I gotta say. All right, so there. I'm sorry you had a hard time finding me, but I'm so glad you're here. So here is the scores. I don't know if you can really see that on white, but that is going to give us our inside Z-fold piece. So let me close this. So we're going to move this out of their way. And I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can track down my bone folder here. Ha! There's one in the drawer right where it's supposed to be. What are the odds? All right, we're going to give that a good crease right there, and then fold this back and give this one a good crease right here. So that's going to form that inside Z part. And I've got to vote. I've got to vote for Rich Razzleberry. All right, I'm going to go ahead and die cut this label back here. So this label is part of the the dies that are bundled with the stamp set. The stamp set is called Painted Poppies, and the dies are called Painted Labels. And what's cool about the die is can you see that embossed edge? It just adds a little something to your card, I think. So let's go ahead and grab the die cutting machine here. And see if I can put my hands on the die. Aha! Things are still in a bit of a disarray from my Stamp-A-Stack events. I had 64 people come through and make the cards. They made 12 cards per person, so it's a total of 189, I think, might have been for 63, and we ended up with actually 64. So 192, was that right? And every card had between 6 and 7 layers, so it was over 1,000 pieces of, over 1,200 pieces of cardstock and things that were cut for the event. So kind of messy here, but you know, that's okay. We can craft with mess. But do you see that? Oh gosh, that's going to blur out on me. Hold on, let me see if I can get it to focus better. Oh, come on, camera. You really don't want to focus on that. Can you see there? Now you can. That embossed edge right there. Isn't that cool? And that just comes right, it's built into the die, so you don't have to do anything extra. You just cut that and you're going to get that cool embossing. So, all right, I have a vote for Rich Raspberry. I have a vote for Poppy Parade. I need a tiebreaker. One more vote, please. Let me know if you want me to do the Rich Raspberry or Poppy Parade version. All right, I'm going to set this down. And yes, I've only been on 5 minutes. I was late tonight, so I'm glad you found me. You didn't miss anything. So this is the card we're making. And so we're just going to walk through how to put this together. I'm going to go Rich Raspberry because that was the first vote. So we'll pull out the piece of Rich Raspberry cardstock. And I'm going to take the bone folder and I'm going to do some really good creasing here. This card has a lot of bounce to it because of that accordion fold. So I do like to, oh, I have another vote for Poppy Parade and another vote for Rich Raspberry. Wow, it's a dead heat. It's a tie. This is awesome. Oh, another vote for Poppy Parade. Oh boy, it's really neck and neck, isn't it? Be awesome to make both of them. Maybe we should just do that, huh? All right, doesn't really matter. There's 2 Rich Raspberries, that's true, and there's 2 Poppy Parades. I think somebody voted twice. So doesn't matter. They're all gonna look awesome. So we have a piece of designer series paper right here that is measuring in at 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So that's going to give us that nice layer, and it's going to give us a 1/16 of an inch around, because remember the score line was at 2 1/8. So that's where we kind of come up with a little bit weird 1/8 inch marks. So the first thing you want to do after you accordion fold is get that designer series paper on. I have a tendency to forget to do that, and I want the designer series paper on before I attach this piece. So now we can go ahead and attach our inside piece, and that's right here. So I wanted to walk you through this. This is the important part, and the panels, the sections here are not even. So if I accordion fold it up and I flip it over, can you see that there is a lip here? Because they're the front piece is wider. So that's kind of your clue as to where the back is going to be and where the adhesive is going to go. The other thing that we want to be careful is we want to put it in like this. There's our Z, so that the opening of the top part is on the left, because it's going to be adhered here. So I'm going to flip it over and add some adhesive onto the back. And then I'm going to open my card and I'm going to center it on the inside of that card, just like so. And now I'm going to close the card, open this up, and I'm going to put adhesive just on the one side. If I put adhesive on the whole thing, I'm actually going to glue my card shut, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to just add some adhesive on this side and close it up. So there is all there is to it. So just remember when you're putting it together that the larger piece goes on top. Excuse me, I should say the wider piece goes on top with the open end on the left side. And so it will really just be mirroring the base of the card. So if you're not sure, just look at the base of your card and go, oh yeah, that's right, it's going to be the same shape. So then we're going to go ahead and decorate the front of our card. And to do that, we've got our little label right here. Ooh, got a neighbor dog barking. Hopefully you can't hear that. All right, and then don't want anyone to feel bad here, so we had some votes for the good old Poppy Parade. I'm going to just be doing that here at the same time because you can whip these out fast. The only problem is I don't have, I'll have to score another piece for that one. Okay, so let's do our flowers. I do, however, have a label already cut, so that's cool. All right, so let's get our stamps here, and we're going to stamp our 2 flowers. And I'm going to be stamping off onto my desk, which is not a good thing. So let me see if I can grab a piece of grid paper here so that I don't, not that this desk hasn't had its share of everything on it, right? But we'll try to protect it. So I've got the Memento Tuxedo Black ink here. I'm going to be coloring this with the Stampin' Blends markers. And when you use the Stampin' Blends, this is the ink that you want to pair it with. So I'm just making sure I've got a good amount of ink on there. As I said, I just used this ink pad for a large event, but it looks pretty darn juicy, so yay. So we've got our 2 flowers there. Ooh, that was not good stamping, Susan. Oh, flipping it over. Good thing it's that 2-sided paper. Let's try that again. Yay, that's better. All right, so now the fun part. I love to color, so I'm going to choose to color these with the Stampin' Blends markers. You certainly could use watercolor pencils, you could use the regular markers, but I'm going to use the blends. So I have the Rich Razzleberry combo pack here, the light and the dark, and I'm going to start with the dark actually, and I'm going to put a little bit of the dark at the bottom of my poppy. And I'm going to put a little bit of the dark on the bud here. And now I'm going to go in with the light and fill in. And I'm going to actually flip around to the fine tip now so I can get in to the edges here. The cool things with the alcohol markers is that if you want a darker tone or more blending, you just continue to layer color on. It's not gonna rip your paper. It's not gonna pill, and you can do the light color right over the dark, and it's not gonna damage the marker. So I was just going over repeatedly where the dark and the light meet, just to blend out that difference in the color. Make it a little smoother. I'm getting ink all over myself. Well, that's about par for the course, right? Let's go ahead and do the poppy really quick, just so you can see how that one goes together. Same thing. I'm going to layer the dark color at the bottom of my flower and the bottom of the bud. And then I'm going to go back in with the light color. And I'll show you a little bit closer here what I was talking about with that dark and light. All right, so I'm going to go back in now with the skinny tip. To know which is the skinny tip, you just look for the skinny line versus the wide line. Wide tip, skinny tip. So, and it's the same on our Stampin' Right markers as well. So I can use the skinny tip to get in nice and close here on the edge without going outside the lines. And then I'm going to go over where the dark and light meet, and that's just going to blend out that harsh line. And there really wasn't too much of a harsh line here. So, all right, so we've got our two versions done here. I'm going to go back in with the light old olive. I'm just going to go right down the stem. And I got really lazy on this one. I didn't even add in the dark old olive for contrast. I just went straight up with the light. Oh my goodness. Going outside the lines there. You know what I love about the blends is we've got it fixed for that. And I'll show you that in just a second. All right, do better on this one. And get our leaf in here. All right, oops, missed a little spot there. All right, so I got a little sloppy on this one. You can see I went outside the lines. So I'm gonna take the color lifter. I'm gonna pull off the skinny end, again, skinny line, skinny end, and I'm just gonna repeatedly go over that area where I went outside of the line. And this is one of my older blends, really, really old color lifters. So, my juicier ones are downstairs still from the Stamp-A-Stack because I haven't put everything away yet. Don't tell. Last one was last night, and I kind of took it easy today, resting up. So let's see, this one is, yeah, this one might have outlived. It's just not. Darn it. All right, I've got another one here. Let's see if it's any better. This is also a really old one. Oh yeah, that one's got stuff in it. Yay. So you get kind of what looks like a watermark. Don't freak out about that because that's going to dry. It's just alcohol, so that's going to quickly evaporate. But do you see how that area that had went outside the lines is completely gone now? Disappeared. And this will just disappear as well as soon as it dries. So, all right, moving on. So we've got our two pieces here. I'm just going to pop this up on dimensionals. I love my dimensionals. Cover up my boo-boo on the back there, that first stamping one that I didn't like. Nobody will ever know. And pop that right there. And then the finishing touch for this card is a piece of ribbon. I have used up every tiny bit of the glittered organdy ribbon that I have in my house. So this one's not going to have ribbon. There you go. Be nice and flat for mailing, right? And then we're going to do an inside greeting. I think for my inside sentiment, I'm going to do the word thanks. This is from the free celebration set called Sending You Thoughts. And here we go. We'll just go back to our tuxedo black memento. Make sure I got it inky enough. Looks good. Pop that right inside. And that's all there is to the double Z fold card. So I will quickly finish this one up as well, and then I'll have two. And you can see that that dried now, and that little part where I went outside the lines is completely gone. Yay. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for our double Z fold tutorial. This is why you want to make sure you cover up the back, because when you use the alcohol markers, they do go through the cardstock. They're supposed to bleed through, so you want to make sure you've got a piece of scrap paper down just to catch that. And then all I need for this one is that insert piece. Now you can also, we're doing the sort of the portrait direction of this double Z fold card. You can also do it landscape direction. I have a very simple card. I was having a discussion with Shirley, one of my customers today, about she was looking for a masculine get well card. So you know, this is something that you could do very, very simple, just with Pretty Peacock and the So Sentimental stamp set and matching dies. Stitch So Sweetly dies, but this one is, you know, just this exactly the same fold, just orientated the other way. So all of the dimensions and everything are exactly the same as this one. It's just different orientation. So so you've got lots of options. Thanks so much for stopping by tonight. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Let me flip the camera so I can say goodbye. Get it out of my stand here. There we go. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.